You've expressed to me that you are having some anxiety over your employment situation. We're going to go through a brief goal setting exercise to help you build some tools to work on your own to hopefully help address your anxiety.
Okay.
So we're going to look at some main points in your life that may be influenced by your anxiety.
Okay.
The first is going to be family. So how do you feel like your anxiety is impacted by your family?
Well, I mean, the uncertainty in my career, it affects, my relationship between my wife and I because, I can get a little bit obsessive about, wondering when the next job's going to come. That anxiety obviously can make me sometimes a little difficult to live with.
Sure, that makes sense. Can you think of some ways to help you build a positive relationship with your spouse or with anyone that you find meaningful in your life?
Well, yeah, I mean, the good news is I do have time on my hands, and so my wife and I, can choose to do things, can choose to do projects together and such, around the house or even just having coffee, so we have free time to build our relationship better. I find projects a lot help me just to keep myself occupied and makes me feel like I accomplished something, which is really important as far as just what my brain space kind of is about what I'm doing with my day. That's important.
And do you feel like you have open communication with your wife that helps her understand kind of how you're feeling about the situation?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes she doesn't quite. It's one of those things that unless you really kind of live in it and do it, you don't fully understand it. But we've been married for 18 and a half years, so yeah, at this point she understands the difficulties with it. Yeah.
That's good. Another area that I feel like may be impacted is your financial situation. Do you feel like that's true or?
It was certainly true when I was younger. It's not as important now, mainly because, I don't have any debt. I paid my house off. I do get a pension monthly. I'm getting closer to Social Security. But I've always been very frugal, and so when I made money, I didn't just go off and spend it. I usually set it aside or invested it, mainly because I knew that from job to job, I never know how long a period of time between jobs I'm going to have. So I've been pretty good about, planning my finances for that.
Good. And I think that will be increasingly important as time passes, and that should help you feel more confident in your financial situation.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can think of that would help improve your situation with your job? Obviously, it's not really based on you, more about the availability of jobs and auditions and stuff like that. But do you think that there's any way that you may be able to help improve?
I mean, I think there are things that I can do, and there are things that are out of my control. I mean, I've been with the same agent for 30 years, so they do stuff for me. But, as of late, I've been trying to write more, which I get gratification from because ultimately I'm a storyteller. That's what an actor is. And so I'm trying to create more of my own product of creating projects for myself, which a lot of actors do. Mm-hmm. And so I think I could be more disciplined at doing that, mm-hmm. because I do think that is helpful and makes me feel a little more optimistic.
Yeah, and that builds a whole new side of creativity that you can expand on.
Well, yeah, and it also gives me a little bit of control of my future.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Do you have any other hobbies that you find enjoyment from?
Well, yeah, I enjoy riding my bike, which I do. I try to do almost every day. And I love kayaking. So in the summer and the spring, when the rivers are running, it's not so much of a problem because I have plenty
More
to do
busy.
doing that. But I still do that every so often. But those two things I enjoy a lot.
Great. Those sound like fun and exciting things.
Yeah.
Well, you've given me some great insight to kind of how your life's being impacted by your anxiety. We're just going to build a couple goals for you
Okay.
through that information. The first is going to be just to continue staying busy, trying to stay busy, making sure that you're feeling value in yourself and being optimistic about your life in general,
Right.
especially your work, and continue to build a relationship with your wife, open communication, and having her as a support system is important as well. Continue to save your money is awesome, and not spend money that you don't have is really important. A lot of people don't recognize that.
Right. Right.
And I think those are both helpful, and it sounds like you're pretty confident in that area. So just continue doing what you're doing should be helpful. And then I think working on being disciplined in your writing and setting aside time for that sounds like a really awesome idea. That'll help you in your work as well as just enjoying it, and finding time to be creative is really important, and making time to continue doing your hobbies so that you're being active and just busy. That should really be helpful. It sounds like that's when you get stress, is when you're not busy. So
yeah, it's important for me to fill my time and feel productive.
So I would continue doing that and work towards building that writing side. Sounds like a really great idea.
Yeah.
Did those sound like manageable goals for you?
Yeah, I think the most difficult one is that self-discipline of setting aside time to write on a daily basis, and I could definitely do a lot better at that than what I'm doing. Yeah.
Great. Well, if you notice any ways that might help, we can discuss those next time. So go ahead and practice all those goals and let me know how things are going, and we can reset them, and hopefully you'll be making some progress.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.